G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Bitcoin update on the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. We've got a couple of things to look at today, one of which is a fractal in 2019 before the big rally we had after the bottom came in 2019, and how that fractal could be playing out once again. Now, I'm not a big fractal guy. I don't necessarily believe in fractals to a certain extent. Obviously, patterns repeat over time, and that's what charting is, that's what TA is, it's identification of patterns, so fractals are real, but every fractal that I've tried to use in a specific context has never really worked out too well. But this fractal was interesting, okay, and we do need to take a look at it. And there's some people making the case that this fractal that I'm going to look at in a second here could lead to an explosion on Bitcoin later in the year. But before we get into any of that, well, actually sooner rather than later in the year. Before we get into any of that, we need to discuss the recent price action, the daily chart, the weekly chart, the monthly chart, the 4-hourly chart. What has happened on Bitcoin? Well, as you guys might already know, because you probably looked at the charts, right? We bounced very strongly off of 19K. We've seen one of the biggest weeks Bitcoin has had in years. In fact, there was a period a few days ago where we saw the strongest 3-day performance on Bitcoin since November 2019. So it's been a very, very powerful rally. It's been a very powerful explosion to the upside. I mean, just, in a matter of 7 days, 8 days, we've seen a 40% move. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. So it's really great to see that kind of stuff happen there on Bitcoin. But now we approach a level that is deemed to be a significant resistance zone. Now we've broken above a yellow line, an uptrending yellow line that we started forming in October back here in this period, and it cut through, and you can see it act as resistance on multiple occasions. In fact, the 4-hourly chart will probably give you a better view of that. We can flip over and take a look. Right, you can see that line there, that same yellow line, acted as a resistance on many, many occasions here. So that's interesting to consider. We did break above that though, and now we've seen a resistance support flip of some sort, and so we're well and truly above support here, above that line. Now we just need to focus on holding on to that level. Now, look, Bitcoin is weakening. As I said, we've come up and we've kind of testing a new resistance zone at 28.6K here. So it wouldn't overly surprise me if Bitcoin does see a correction at some point. I don't think it's likely that we just blast through 28.6K. I think we will see a rejection and consolidation and some sort of at least some sort of consolidation before blasting above it, because 28.6K, right, if we flip to the weekly chart, it's the red level, right? It's the red level I've got here, the solid red line. It is the bull market support zone. Look how many times we held this level, 28.6K, during the bull market, right? So to think we'll just power through it in one stroke, I mean, it could happen. We've seen such a powerful start to the year already, but it just doesn't seem likely. It's a very major resistance. When you see major resistance, you generally test it, and then you break up above it after you test it. Take 25.2K, for example, the top of the local range that we had here, 25.2K, I'm circling where it is, it's the top of the range. We came up, we validated it as resistance back in August 2022. We came up, we tested it, we corrected very sharply, and only then did we break above it after a correction. That's generally how you break through resistance, and the same thing happens to reverse on support, right? You bounce off support initially, and then after a bounce, after some consolidation, you come back down, you lose it after the second time, third time. The first time, if you break something on the first time, it means that there's massive amount of strength in the market. Of course, there is right now. But don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up in expecting we just blast right through 28.6K. We've already seen such a powerful start to the year, so we could very much see some sort of correction, some sort of consolidation, and that would be perfectly healthy. That's the main point I'm trying to make. But yeah, ultimately, we are seeing the weekly candle close in 16 hours here. So tomorrow will be the weekly candle close. And it's very, very, very important that we close that weekly candle above 25.3K for multiple reasons. Obviously, 25.3K, 25.2K-ish is the top of the local range we had here. We haven't really closed a weekly yet, so I guess it's not technically broken. And 25.3K is also where the 200-week SMA, this green trend line here, this green moving average, that's acted as support on multiple occasions on Bitcoin. Take a look at the screen here. If we close above 25.3K on the weekly chart, which is quite likely at this point. We're at 27K in 16 hours. We could drop down below, but it's unlikely. If we close above that, that's great. That's great validation that this move to the upside is confirmed, and we've broken above the range for sure. And, obviously, we've moved very swiftly here. Ever since we got above 25.2K, as I've been saying for months now, once we get above 25.2K, we're going to move very quickly, and we have moved very quickly. And the reason why we've moved very quickly is because there's a massive gap where I'm circling on the right-hand side of the screen in the volume profile between 25.2 and 28.6, meaning there's very little historical resistance in that region. So we're going to move swiftly through it. We're going to cut through it like cheese, and we already have, right? But I'm just saying, Main thing you really need to consider, weekly candle close, look at 25.2k. If we close the weekly above 25.2, it's very strong. As for closes in other regards and other time frames, monthly candle is very important as well. We've got 12 days until the monthly candle close. And, of course, looking at the monthly chart, and this is something we've looked at quite a lot as well, 23.4k on the monthly chart is the critical level we need to be closing above. So as long as we do that on the monthly chart as well, that gives a lot of macro bullishness as well as the weekly chart. So those are the things you need to really be concerned about on Bitcoin in the short term. Quick little short-term update there on Bitcoin. We are seeing this trend start to slightly weaken as we see volume start to decrease. We are still in bearish divergence here, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see a correction off of that 28k, 28.6k level. We already wicked up to 28k and rejected slightly. So yeah, just don't be surprised if we do see some red over the coming days or weeks. It's not that unhealthy at all. But moving on to the next part of the video, what I wanted to talk about, and as I said, is this, right? These two charts here. Now, on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see 2019. Okay, and I'm going to zoom out and show you where exactly it was. This was the 2018 bull market, 2017 bull market, and then we had the 2018 bull market, bear market, sorry, and then we came down, we bottomed out in this cup formation, just like what we did over here in 2022. We had this cup formation bottom, just like in 2019, okay? During that cup formation, we formed a very critical uptrending resistance line, okay? This red line in 2019, you can see we formed a resistance line that stemmed months back, okay? And we rejected from it on multiple occasions, and when we finally got through it, we absolutely blasted to the upside. Now, people are making the case the same thing could happen. Now, obviously, there are intense similarities between these two consolidation zones here. We had, again, just like in 2018, we had a horizontal support zone. Once we lost that, we entered a cup, just like here. Horizontal support zone, once we lost that, we entered a cup. And then we had a diagonal resistance. And, we're blasting, we're broken above it right now. There is a chance that, just like in 2019, we will blast above it and we will form an explosive rally. And, given what's going on in the macro, given the fact that Bitcoin is losing connection to traditional markets, which is great, by the way, it's gaining independence, it's losing connection to the S&P 500, losing connection to the NASDAQ. As you can see in these charts here, the correlation is going downwards, losing connection to the European markets, is losing inverse correlation for US dollar. Bitcoin is gaining a massive amount of independence. So potentially, we could do this. It's very hard to say anything other than it's a possibility because fractals aren't really data. They're just like looking at things and saying, oh, it could happen again. But yeah, it could happen again. I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make. So keep an eye out for it. If we do come up and blast through 28.6k like it's nothing, then hey, look, it's probably going to be happening. So it's something to keep an eye on. There are similarities there. And same kind of time in the cycle, same kind of formation, same resistance line. We could blast through it. We could make a dramatic move to the upside here, just like 2019. We'll have to wait and see. Again, there's not much you can really say other than that, but it's something to keep an eye on for sure. So that's basically it, guys. That's all we got to look into today on Bitcoin. And without further ado, I will end the video there, but I'll talk about a few things before we do so. I'd appreciate it if you stick around. So first and foremost, guys, the BitGet exchange. You've heard about me talk about this before. If you haven't heard about me talk about it before, the BitGet exchange is the exchange we use on the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. It's also the exchange we use as VIP members in the VIP group. If you're interested in VIP trading, by the way, we trade altcoins sub-daily on Telegram. You can find the relevant link in the description below. It's 100 USD for 3 months there. But this is the exchange we use for VIP trading and on the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. They've got 5 times the lower fees than Binance, which is insane because Binance is known as a cheap exchange. They're non-KYC. You don't have to KYC if you don't want to, which lines up with the fundamental values of cryptocurrency. And also, just in general, we've got copy trading. We've got a protection fund. In case something happens to the exchange or something happens to your funds on the exchange, you can make a claim and potentially get reimbursed in your funds here. So they're learning from the FTX situation. They've released their reserves. Everything's all good on that end. And so, yeah, I'd recommend signing up to this exchange. If you do so, you can sign up using my referral link and get a 15% discount on trading fees for life. So go ahead and take advantage of that if you want to. And then finally, the Crypto Academy. If you want to learn how to trade for yourself, you want to learn how to analyze charts, learn how to trade indicators, trade market patterns, volume, candlesticks, whatever it may be, this is the place to do it. Become a Trader 10-unit course developed by myself and Megawell Crypto. We released this course in May 2022 last year, and ever since then, it's been going really great. I think we've got around, let's see here, 91 students, and obviously you can become one of them if you want to. You can go to the description, click on the website link, read up all about it, and throw us an email using the email address on the website if you have any questions or want to make a payment. So without further ado, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.